Imagine, you're standing alone under a clear night sky. The universe stretches above you, an endless sea of stars. Some of the light reaching your eyes has traveled for billions of years, ancient echoes of distant galaxies, whispering the story of the cosmos. But what if I told you that this universe, this vast and seemingly infinite expanse, might be just one of many? What if, beyond the edge of what we can see, there exist countless other universes, each with its own stars, its own galaxies, maybe even another version of you? It sounds like science fiction, but cutting-edge physics suggests it could be a fundamental reality. And the latest evidence, well, that might just change everything we think we know about existence itself. The idea of the multiverse isn't just a wild fantasy. It's a serious scientific hypothesis, rooted in some of the most important discoveries in cosmology and quantum physics. But why do scientists even believe in such a thing? To answer that, we have to go back to one of the most groundbreaking discoveries in astronomy. It all started with a simple but profound realization: the universe is expanding. In the early 20th century, astronomer Edwin Hubble observed that distant galaxies were moving away from us, and the farther they were, the faster they seemed to be retreating. This led to one of the most revolutionary ideas in physics, the Big Bang Theory. It told us that the universe had a beginning, a moment when everything we see today was compressed into an unimaginably dense point before expanding outward. But here's where things get really strange. For decades, scientists assumed that the universe's expansion would eventually slow down, maybe even reverse due to gravity. But in 1998, two independent teams of researchers made a shocking discovery. Not only was the universe still expanding, but it was accelerating. Some unknown force was pushing galaxies apart, stretching space itself at an ever-increasing rate. Scientists called this force dark energy, and today we know that it makes up nearly 70% of the universe. But here's the problem. No one knows what dark energy actually is, and this is where the multiverse theory starts to come into play. Some physicists believe that dark energy might be a sign that our universe isn't alone. One of the most compelling ideas is known as eternal inflation. Imagine space as a giant boiling cauldron of energy, constantly bubbling with new universes. According to this theory, the Big Bang wasn't a singular event. It was just one of an infinite number of cosmic births. Each new universe forms in a process called cosmic inflation, expanding rapidly from a tiny point before settling into a more stable state. But the key idea is this: inflation never stops. While our universe cooled and slowed down, inflation could still be happening elsewhere, endlessly creating new universes, like bubbles forming in a never-ending cosmic foam. If this is true, then our universe is just one bubble among countless others. Some bubbles might be nearly identical to ours, with stars, planets, and even intelligent life. Others could be wildly different, with completely alien laws of physics, maybe even universes where gravity is stronger or where atoms never formed at all. This idea helps explain a major puzzle in physics. Why do the fundamental constants of our universe seem so perfectly fine-tuned for life? Think about it. If gravity had been just a little stronger after the Big Bang, the universe might have collapsed back in on itself. If it had been slightly weaker, galaxies and stars might never have formed at all. The same goes for the forces that hold atoms together, the speed of light, and even the properties of space itself. Everything seems just right for life to exist. That's what scientists call the fine-tuning problem. But if the multiverse exists, then maybe we just happen to live in one of the universes where things worked out. After all, in an infinite number of universes, at least one was bound to get the conditions right. But before we dive deeper into the latest breakthroughs, before we explore the mind-bending world of quantum mechanics and parallel realities, let's take a moment. Every great journey starts with a few brave explorers. Right now, Cosmic Whispers is just beginning, and your support means everything. If you enjoy unraveling the mysteries of the universe, hit subscribe. It's free, and it helps us grow this community together. Now let's continue, because what's coming next is even more astonishing. scientists have been conducting experiments that might just prove the existence of parallel worlds, and what's happening at the quantum level could be the key to unlocking the multiverse. Buckle up, because reality is about to get a lot stranger. If the multiverse exists, how would we ever prove it? After all, these other universes, if they are out there, would be separate from ours, unreachable and beyond observation, right? Well, that's what scientists used to think. But now, they're beginning to realize that evidence for the multiverse might already be hidden in plain sight, woven into the very fabric of reality itself. And to find it, we have to go down to the smallest scale imaginable, the quantum world. Picture a coin spinning in midair. It hasn't landed yet, so it's neither heads nor tails. It's both, in a strange, suspended state. Now, imagine that, instead of a coin, we're talking about an electron, one of the tiny building blocks of everything in the universe. In the bizarre realm of quantum mechanics, electrons, and all fundamental particles, exist in multiple states at once. It's only when we observe them that they choose one state over another. This idea is at the heart of one of the strangest and most controversial theories in physics, the many-worlds interpretation. In 1957, physicist Hugh Everett proposed something that sounded utterly insane at the time. What if, when an electron is forced to choose a state, reality doesn't just settle on one outcome? What if instead every possibility happens, each in its own separate universe? This would mean that every time a quantum event occurs, reality splits. Every decision, every possibility, every alternate outcome spawns a new branch of the multiverse. Right now, as you listen to this, another version of you might have chosen to stop watching. In another universe, you might be speaking a different language. In another, you might not even exist. This idea isn't just philosophical speculation. Quantum mechanics itself seems to hint at a multiverse, and experiments suggest that particles really do exist in multiple states until they are observed. Take the famous double-slit experiment, one of the strangest and most unsettling experiments ever conducted. When scientists fire tiny particles like electrons at a barrier with two slits, something bizarre happens. If no one is observing, the particles behave like waves, passing through both slits at the same time, as if they exist in multiple places at once. But the moment we try to measure them, when we look, they collapse into a single state, behaving like individual particles. It's as if reality is only decided when we observe it. But what if that's not the full story? What if, instead of collapsing, reality splits, creating a new universe for every possible outcome? And here's where things get even more unsettling. Some scientists believe we may have already detected a sign of the multiverse, hidden in the afterglow of the Big Bang itself. The cosmic microwave background, or CMB, is the oldest light in the universe, a faint glow left over from the birth of everything we know. When scientists mapped the CMB, they expected it to be nearly uniform, a smooth afterimage of the early universe. But there are strange, unexplained anomalies, cold spots and irregularities that don't quite fit with our standard model of cosmology. In 2015, researchers analyzing the CMB found something that sent shockwaves through the scientific community, a massive, unusually cold region of space, far larger than anything expected. Some believe this cold spot could be a scar left behind by a collision with another universe. Imagine two cosmic bubbles, our universe and another, brushing against each other in the early moments of creation. If this happened, it could leave behind subtle imprints in the fabric of space-time itself, distortions in the CMB that we can still detect today. Some physicists believe this could be the first real observational clue that we are not alone, that the multiverse is real. But what if I told you that the strangest evidence for parallel worlds doesn't come from deep space, but from right here on Earth? Deep inside a laboratory, scientists have been conducting an experiment that might just rewrite the rules of reality. And what they discovered is so bizarre, so mind-bending, that some believe it could be the first glimpse into another universe. In a quiet laboratory, deep beneath the surface of the Earth, a team of physicists stares at their data in disbelief. What they've just observed shouldn't be possible, not according to everything we understand about physics. And yet, there it is, A particle behaving as though it's interacting with something unseen, something that might not even belong to our universe. This isn't science fiction. It's an actual experiment conducted at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory, where scientists may have stumbled upon the first real evidence of a parallel universe. The key player? A strange and elusive particle known as a neutron. Neutrons, along with protons, make up the nucleus of every atom. They follow strict physical laws, except for one puzzling anomaly. When neutrons are isolated, they decay into protons, but for some reason, they don't always decay at the exact same rate. The difference is tiny, but it's enough to suggest that something unknown is interfering with them. So in 2019, researchers devised a bold experiment. They fired neutrons at an impenetrable wall, expecting them to either bounce back or be absorbed. But something strange happened. Some of the neutrons simply vanished. They didn't reflect. They didn't get absorbed. They were just gone. Where did they go? Some scientists believe these neutrons may have slipped into another universe, an alternate reality existing alongside our own. In other words, this could be the first experimental sign of a parallel world. If this is true, it means that particles might be able to move between universes under certain conditions. And if particles can cross over, what about larger structures? What about entire galaxies or even life? Could there be beings in another reality looking back at us, just as puzzled by their own missing particles? The idea of a hidden, parallel world isn't new. In fact, ancient myths and philosophies have long speculated about realms beyond our perception. But now, science is starting to catch up. Physicists are exploring an even deeper level of reality, one where entire universes might be stacked on top of each other, like pages in a book separated only by an invisible dimension. This idea is known as the brain theory, and it comes straight from one of the most ambitious theories in modern physics, string theory. String theory suggests that everything in the universe, every particle, every force, even space and time itself, is made up of tiny vibrating strings. But these strings don't just exist in the 3 dimensions we're familiar with. They require extra dimensions, hidden layers of reality that we cannot see. And here's where things get really strange. Some versions of string theory predict that our universe is like a 3-dimensional membrane, a brain floating in a higher dimensional space. Other brains could be floating alongside ours, each one a separate universe. And occasionally, these brains might collide or interact, creating effects we can observe. Some physicists even believe that the Big Bang itself was caused by a collision between 2 parallel universes, releasing an unimaginable burst of energy and giving birth to the cosmos we know. If this is true, then we might not just be living. In a multiverse, we might be constantly interacting with it. There could be subtle forces, echoes of other realities, influencing our universe in ways we don't yet understand. And here's the most unsettling question of all. If there are other universes out there, could we ever reach them? Some scientists believe the answer is yes, but doing so would require something extraordinary, a way to break through the barriers of reality itself. And believe it or not, there might already be a loophole hidden within the laws of physics, a theoretical shortcut that could allow us to travel between universes, or even glimpse an alternate version of ourselves. If parallel universes exist, is there a way to reach them? Could we ever cross the boundary between worlds, stepping into an alternate reality, one where history played out differently, where another version of ourselves made a different choice, or where the laws of physics themselves are rewritten? For decades, this idea has belonged to the realm of science fiction, but some physicists believe that within the laws of the universe, a loophole may exist, a theoretical passage between realities. And it begins with one of the most fascinating and perplexing concepts in all of physics: wormholes. A wormhole is a hypothetical bridge, an Einstein-Rosen bridge, that connects 2 distant points in space. If they exist, they could allow near-instantaneous travel between galaxies, but some physicists believe they might also serve another purpose. If different universes exist side by side, separated only by an extra dimension, a wormhole could act as a tunnel between them. Imagine a piece of paper with 2 dots on it, representing 2 separate universes. If you fold the paper so that the dots touch, A wormhole could theoretically allow something or someone to pass between them. The challenge, of course, is that no one knows if wormholes are traversable. They might be microscopic, unstable, or require exotic forms of energy to hold open. But some believe that if we ever learn to manipulate space-time itself, wormholes could be our key to exploring the multiverse. But what if the barriers between universes aren't as solid as we think? What if, instead of needing advanced technology, glimpses of parallel worlds are already happening, right here in our everyday lives? Throughout history, there have been strange, unexplainable phenomena that some believe could be evidence of reality glitches, moments where the fabric between worlds grows thin. Some people claim to have experienced déjà vu in places they've never visited, as if their memories belong to another version of themselves. Others tell stories of objects appearing or disappearing inexplicably, as if shifting between realities. And then, there are the truly eerie cases, accounts of people vanishing without a trace as if they simply stepped into another world. Are these mere coincidences, tricks of the mind, or could they be subtle signs that our universe isn't alone? The multiverse is still a theory, but with every new discovery it moves closer to the realm of possibility. The strange anomalies in the cosmic microwave background, the bizarre behavior of neutrons, the implications of quantum mechanics, and the predictions of string theory all point toward a universe far stranger and far larger than we ever imagined. If the multiverse is real, it changes everything. It means that our reality is just one of countless others, a single thread in a vast cosmic tapestry. It means that there could be other versions of you, living different lives, shaped by different choices. And perhaps somewhere out there in another universe, another version of you is asking the exact same question. Are we truly alone? Or are we part of something far greater, an infinite web of realities waiting to be explored? If this video left you with more questions than answers, that's a good thing. The universe is a mystery, and the deeper we look, the more it seems to defy our understanding. But what do you think? Is the multiverse real? Have we already seen evidence of parallel worlds? Or is this all just speculation, waiting for proof? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey through the unknown, don't forget to like and share this video, because the universe is meant to be explored together. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep wondering what lies just beyond the horizon of our reality.